Hello, friends. This is Sam Chaney reporting for Weaponized News. Today's April 6th, 2026. Got some sixes. Add it all up. What does it look like? Almost 666 here today. Well, I hope everyone had a great Easter weekend with your family. The Middle East did not have a good Easter weekend, as they're bombing the hell out of it. Right now, as I speak, I'll cover all this. We're in dystopia here now. We're in dystopia. It looks like fake clips coming out of Trump. People are like, is this even real? It's real. It's real. We're in dystopia. We're in dystopia with a madman that's the president of the United States. Acting like a mad dog, threatening war crimes. It's quite disturbing indeed. We have all these details. Today, Trump running around just sounding like a complete insane person. We're going to play you these clips, highlights from today. We got Artemis 2, NASA news. Whole lot of news over the weekend with the war. We're on day 38 of the war. Iran rejects ceasefire proposal. It's not looking good. It's not looking good at all. We have economic news. We have geopolitical news, more war news. It's not looking good. All these details for you. The body counts, man. They are stacking bodies all over the place in West Asia. It's quite horrific. It really is now. All this reporting and more for you on this Monday edition of Weaponized News. Let's get to this day in history and then to all this news for you. On this day in history of April 6th, we go back to the year 1453. Turkish forces under Sultan Mehmed II begin the siege of the Byzantine Empire's capital, Constantinople, now Istanbul, which falls on May 29th. 1672, on this day, France declares war on the Netherlands. 1772, on this day, Empress of Russia, Catherine the Great, ends the tax on men with beards, enacted by Tsar Peter the Great in 1698. Now that's a crazy tax. In 1808, John Jacob Astor incorporates the American Fur Company. Astor. Should probably remember that name and look into it. On this day in 1815, British prison guards shoot disorderly American POWs, killing 7 and injuring between 31 and 60 in the Dartmoor Massacre. And where did aardvarks learn their treachery from? The UK. You see, as they're implementing the execution now of Palestinian prisoners, a la Ben Gvir with the noose lapel pin on his jacket, right? Right. Where did they learn this dastardly, tyrannical behavior from? Well, I would say, in large part, the UK government. 1830 on this day, the Mormon Church forms. Joseph Smith and 5 others officially organize the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, the Mormon Church in Fayette, New York. In 1848, on this day, Big mistake by Persia. Aardvarks are granted equality in Persia. 1889, on this date, George Eastman begins selling Kodak flexible roll film for the first time. 1906, on this day, we saw the world's first animated cartoon is released. Humorous Phases of Funny Faces. Here's an image from the first cartoon there. Looks like he's smoking a blunt, blowing it in this woman's face, and she's getting a contact buzz out of it. No, selling cigarettes, probably, most likely there. Continuing here, 1917. 1917, on this day, the United States, kind of a big deal. The United States declares war on Germany and enters World War I on the side of the Allies. 1919, on this day, Bavaria proclaims itself a Soviet republic. 1931, on this day, Linus Pauling's seminal chemistry work, The Nature of the Chemical Bond, is published, establishing valence bond theory. 1968, 1938, on this day, Teflon is invented by American chemist Roy J. Plunkett at DuPont. Highly toxic coating in your cooking pans. I would look into it if I was you, or just scream MAGA and drink glyphosate. Maybe that could be good for your health. Not giving health advice on this show. 1968, on this day, we saw a gun, powder, and gas explosion at a sporting goods store in downtown Richmond, Indiana. It killed 41 people and injured more than 150. The hell's going on at that sporting goods store? 1994, on this day, the Rwandan genocide. Plane-carrying Rwandan president Juvenal Habyarimana and Bahrainian president is shot down by a surface-to-air missile, abruptly ending peace negotiations and sparking the Rwandan genocide. Those responsible have never been identified. You want to see some creepy, crazy stuff? Look into Rwandan genocide. Looks like Western intelligence, U.S. military, we're doing a whole lot of testing going on there as they genocided the Rwandan people. 2016, on this date, France passes legislation making it illegal to pay for sex. On this date, 2016. And here's our segue. Here's our segue to the news. This is Trump earlier today.
The entire country can be taken out in one night, and that night might be tomorrow night.
Some more threats from Trump. He's threatened to take out the entirety of Iran. I don't think we have the capability to do so, but that's the threats that Trump is putting out there to Iran and the rest of the world. Back to our dystopia here at home. And it doesn't get more dystopic than this image right here. The Easter Bunny. Some are alleging that's Howard Lutnick, Trump's handler, in the Easter Bunny outfit, and Trump waving to a giant penis. There you go. We are in dystopia. Of course, the Washington Monument, a Freemasonic phallic symbol that all these characters suck off. Truly, truly disgusting. We are in dystopia. They did the Easter egg roll at the White House today. Here's the Easter eggs coming out of the White House. Very fancy. And here's this dystopic image with the First Lady Melania, Trump, and the Easter Bunny. Why do they continue to do this? Extremely cringe, creepy, dystopic. But that's what the federal government knows and loves.
So today is a very special day. It's a day where we celebrate Jesus. It's a day where we celebrate religion. And it's an honor.
Again, I'm alleging that's Howard Lutnick in the bunny suit, Trump's aardvark handler, and famously bragged about family vacationing on Epstein Island.
To be the president of the United States. Our country is doing so well, like it has never done before. You'll see that very shortly. And things that we've done have not been done before. We've broken every record on the stock market. We've broken every record in our military. And what about the rescue that took place?
Dystopic delusion. Dystopic delusion is where we're at here. Here's Trump blowing his rape whistle. Oh no, it's the start the race whistle, excuse me. Thought he turned into a left-wing protester there in Minnesota. Hard to tell the difference. We'll get to his tweet over the weekend.
Ready? Get set.
Go slow! Watch where you're going! Come on, jump it!
Seriously, who takes their kid to that? Like, seriously. A bunch of Epsteiners all up in there at the White House right now with the DOJ actively covering up the Epstein files. So who in their right mind would take their kids around these psychopaths? Poor kids, man.
Are you egg people?
Yes.
Everybody's an egg person. I never saw so many egg people. It tells you it's a big industry. How did I do with the voters that do eggs?
Awesome.
Did you say 100% or 90%?
100%.
Did anybody in the egg industry vote for Kamala?
There was always that bunny right there, looking like Lutnick to me. Here's a flashback of Hillary Clinton from 2008. And she says, I want the Iranians to know that if I'm the president, we will attack them. Huh. Kind of same as Trump. It's like they're all the same person.
I want the Iranians to know that if I'm the president, we will attack Iran. Whatever stage of development they might be in their nuclear weapons program in the next 10 years, during which they might.
I thought that's why people voted for Trump. I guess it's all the same now. Here's more dystopic statements from Trump.
Mr. President, thank you very much. You've said glory be to God in this conflict. Do you believe that God supports the United States' actions in this war?
I do, because
And have
God
you
is
sought his
good.
direction?
Because God is good.
I don't know what God they're talking about, but yeah, his God supports the bombing of school children.
And God wants to see people taken care of. God doesn't like what's happening. I don't like what's happening. Everyone says I don't enjoy this. I don't enjoy it. These two guys don't enjoy it. You know, people say, oh boy, they're so tough. I don't like seeing people killed. I've ended 8 wars.
He's ended 8 wars. This was over the weekend. This was Easter Sunday morning, actually, yesterday morning. Trump put this out. Tuesday will be Power Plant Day and Bridge Day, all wrapped up in one in Iran. There will be nothing like it. Open the fucking strait, you crazy bastards, or you'll be living in hell. Just watch. Praise be to Allah, President Donald J. Trump. That was his Easter morning message. Very Christian of him there. Here's this. We're at dystopia. This is beyond Orwellian level propaganda here now. Trump earlier today, the Iranian people, when they don't hear bombs going off, they're upset. They want to hear bombs because they want to be free. So the Iranian people love being bombed into the Stone Age, according to Trump. And we've seen this propaganda for a while now.
How is it taking care of the Iranian people if you're bombing?
Yeah, who you with? Who you with?
Yes.
Well, that's a radical left group of lunatics that you're with. Let me just tell you, very fair question. The Iranian people, when they don't hear bombs go off, they're upset. They want to hear bombs because they want to be free. And the only reason they're not out protesting, you know that, is because they were informed that if they protest, like the wrestler and his friends, if they protest, they will be shot immediately. And that's an edict, that's in writing. If they protest, if they go out in the streets, they will be immediately shot. They don't have guns. You know, we sent some guns, but the group that was supposed to give, which I said would happen to my people, I said it, I called it exactly. We sent guns, a lot of guns. They were supposed to go to the people so they could fight back against these thugs. You know what happened? The people that they sent them to kept them.
There you go. And we're going to circle back in another 5 years? Oh, we got to go get those terrorists. They got a bunch of guns. Where'd they get them? America. Same routine here. Here's more of this propaganda out of the BBC. The BBC says, yeah, Radin, also in his 20s and living in Tehran, said about them hitting energy infrastructures, using an atomic bomb, or leveling Iran, my honest reaction is that I'm okay with all these. So see, there you go. Iranians want to be nuked, according to BBC and Trump propaganda. Here's more from Trump earlier today. Says that, no, I'm not losing MAGA. MAGA loves what I'm doing. Well, if that's true, MAGA are sadistic war criminals. That may very well be true at this point.
And everyone's saying, oh, is Trump losing MAGA? No, I'm not losing MAGA. MAGA loves what I'm doing. And CNN did a poll of MAGA voters, a big poll, very important poll, Harry. And he went on, he said, this is amazing, 100% support. He said, I've never had a 100% poll at anything before. And is, do you support Trump, MAGA people, which is, by the way, mostly Republican. And if you look, I would say MAGA makes up a majority, like about 95% of the Republican Party, all right? So they went out, they did a poll, and CNN came back 100% support. So they support what we're doing, but they would like to see it end and come back. But remember, wars last years. We're in there for 34 days. And we've obliterated a very powerful country in 34 days. Yeah, if it were up to me, I'd like to keep the oil. I just don't think the people of the United States would really understand.
I don't think the people of the United States would understand. You stole all Venezuela's oil and gave it to the Rockefeller oil oligarchs. I think we do understand exactly what's going on here. Trump's message to Americans who don't support the Iran war: they're foolish.
What do you say to Americans who are not a fan of the war?
They're foolish because the war's about one thing. Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. Had we not...
That's a flat out lie. It's a flat out lie. Again, U.S. intelligence report to the Senate said Iran is not an imminent threat to the United States. Here's Trump earlier today. Again, how would it not be a war crime to strike Iran's bridges and power plants? Following aardvark propaganda, they say the same things. Well, they're animals. So that's how it's not a war crime.
Mr. President, how would it not be a war crime to strike Iran's bridges and power plants?
Because they killed 45,000 people in the last month, more than that. I think it could be as much as 60. They kill protesters, they're animals. And we have to stop them, and we can't let them have a nuclear weapon. Very simple. They want to.
He's still going with the Iran killed 45,000 protesters. I've seen no evidence of that. When Western intelligence was on the ground there with Mossad trying to engineer a color revolution against the Iranian regime, backed up by the weaponization of the US dollar. So they're animals. Here's the human toll of suffering. Just a little bit. A Palestinian man is seen overcome with shock and grief after his brother was killed in an aardvark land strike on Gaza. And so the Palestinian genocide is continuing. They're stacking bodies of Palestinians every day. It's quite horrific. Quite horrific indeed. Continuing here. Well, here's our shadow president. And so thankfully, he says aardvark land is stronger than ever and Iran is weaker than ever. Let's watch this. It's in the aardvark language and they don't translate it, but this is right from shadow president of America, Bibi.
אתמול דיברתי שוב עם ידידי הנשיא טראמפ. אני הבאתי בפניו את הערכה העצומה שלנו למבצע החילוץ ההירואי של אותו איש צוות אוויר אמריקני, והנשיא טראמפ מצידו הודע לי על הסיוע שישראל נתנה במבצע הזה. בכלל הוא דיבר עלינו בסופרלטיבים. הוא אמר, You guys are great. אתם גדולים. הוא רואה בישראל...
You guys are great. Netanyahu reportedly urged Trump not to pursue Iran ceasefire during phone call yesterday, according to a report out of Axios. Iran rejects ceasefire, sends 10-point proposal via Pakistan. Iran has rejected a U.S. proposed temporary ceasefire and instead submitted a 10-point proposal to Washington via Pakistan earlier today, outlining its conditions for ending the war. The plan calls for a permanent and comprehensive end to all regional hostilities, rejecting any limited or time-bound truce, and frames Tehran's position as a full alternative to the U.S.-backed proposal. According to IRNA, the proposal includes the immediate and unconditional lifting of all U.S.-led sanctions imposed on Iran, a binding agreement to end all military operations across the region, and the creation of a formal international framework to guarantee secure navigation through the Strait of Hormuz. It also demands financial reparations and reconstruction commitments for damage caused by the war, alongside explicit international guarantees of Iran's sovereignty, territorial integrity, and protection from any future military aggression. And of course, Iran put this proposal back to America, knowing that it would be flatly rejected. Trump says the U.S. has been communicating with Iranian leaders via children bringing a note back and forth. Said that today. Who is Trump actually negotiating with? They say they whacked all of Iranian leaders. And we keep hearing Trump say, well, there's a new regime over there. Well, who is it? Who are you guys talking to? Is this just Trump on the old shoe phone, on the can phone? It's really starting to look like it. It's really, really starting to look like it. I'm looking for that image of Trump on the can phone. I thought I had it. I don't. Anyhow, it's ridiculous. U.S. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth again says today will be the longest volume of strikes on Iran since day one of this operation. Tomorrow will be even more than today. They're bombing Iran into the Stone Age right now as we speak. We control the skies, Pete Hegseth says, over Iran, but they've shot down now a F-15E Strike Eagle that's been destroyed, 2 HHS-60 rescue helicopters. Those have been damaged. 1 MH-6 Little Bird destroyed. 1 A-10 Thunderbolt 2 destroyed. 2 C-30 Hercules aircraft destroyed. And 1 or 2 MQ-9 Reaper drones destroyed. So we've won the war many times, as Trump has told us. We've blown up their entire army, all of their infrastructure, government, military organization. We've destroyed their entire missile arsenal, their navy, but somehow, some way, the missiles are flying right now, and the war continues. And Iran is a hell of a lot better at propaganda than the United States. All we have is Trump's lies and MAGA's gullibility to the point of being obtuse to anything that even makes sense at this point in our dystopic United States of America. The IRGC continues to mock Trump by putting stickers on missiles. Money that could have been spent on the health problems of the American people, stupid Trump. And that's a sticker they slapped on the side of an Iranian missile. MTG, Marjorie Taylor Greene, on Trump says, our president is not a Christian, and his words and actions should not be supported by Christians. He has gone insane. There's a lot of people out there saying that Trump has gone insane. Is he playing the role of a madman to try to strong arm negotiations with Iran? Or is he really gone insane? Another Lego video out of Iran here. And so this is why I say they're winning the propaganda war bigly on the internet.
Yeah. Power plant day. Rich day. You scared of the pictures? Power plant day. Rich day. Open the fucking straight or you'll be living in hell. Censor the satellites. How what we did to your bases. You're losing your mind and you're losing this war. Face it. You tweet like a madman, threatening power plants and bridges. Praise be to Allah. You sound unhinged, you bitch. You want us living in hell, but you're the one scared of the sky. Begging every satellite company to hide what we did to your guys. 17 bases hit, C-130 and Black Hawks gone. 100 million wasted just to save one pawn. Now you're blocking the photos so the world doesn't see how bad little Iran fucked up your military. Power plant, reach there. Open the fucking straight or you'll be living in hell. Censor the satellites. How what we did to your bases. You're losing your mind and you're losing this war. Face it. Sacred defense. We still standing. You censoring the sky.
Oh, there's more there's more here now. In Iran winning the propaganda war. This is the Iranian consulate. A bunch of Iranian embassy accounts are blasting away the propaganda. Another propaganda video out of Iran here.
Iran has been destroyed. The Strait of Hormuz will be liberated. This is the final stage. Thank you all for being here tonight. Thank you for your attention.
Oh, but there's more. There's more, you see. They burned another effigy, a ball, here now, out of Iran. Waiting for this to hit Washington, D.C. To burn an effigy, a ball, right in front of the Washington Monument. Iran winning the propaganda war. All we have here in America is lying war criminal Donald Trump and the Easter Bunny to sell us this illegal foreign war of aggression against Iran. Here's Trump talking about Trump threatens the media here now over national security for leaking the second pilot missing in Iran. And it turns out it was aardvark, so anti-skepticism coming out of Trump here now. Should probably be prosecuted in Florida for it.
These two extraordinary rescues, because it was two, and as you probably know, we didn't talk about the first one for an hour. Then somebody leaked something, which we'll hopefully find that leaker. We're looking very hard to find that leaker. And talked about there's somebody missing. They basically said that we have one and there's somebody missing. Well, they didn't know there was somebody missing until this leaker gave the information. So whoever it was, we think we'll be able to find it out because we're going to go to the media company that released it and we're going to say, national security, give it up or go to jail. And we know who, and you know who we're talking.
So there you go. Tyranny from Trump for national security. Turns out it was this character, aardvark journalist. So antiseptic coming out of Trump there. This character right here. Trump, we didn't talk about the first one we rescued. You just heard him say that, what they said here. As you may recall, this was first published here. Aardvark journalist takes credit for being the first to post about the missing airmen after Trump's threats. Amit Segal backing up America by giving away our alleged position of downed pilots. We do appreciate the help from our greatest ally there. Iran airs footage of traitors who sent coordinates to aardvark land bombings. And so they're parading them around Iranian TV. Punishment ranges from property confiscation to execution. Play you a little bit of this clip from Iranian TV exposing their leakers.
از ترامپ خواستم که به ایران یه حمله نظامی بکنه. یه توییت زده بودم.
چشم بند به چشم و دست بند به دست به جرم خیانت به وطن.
این پیامم به صفحه پیج اینستاگرام نتانیاهو فرستادم.
به جرم خوششخصی.
I guess those are the guys that like being bombed. He was posting on Shadow President of America, Bibi Netanyahu's Instagram account. So I'm sure he likes being bombed. Was this whole rescue mission fake? I think in large part it was. Here's Hegseth comparing the mission to Jesus.
One downed airman evaded capture for more than a day, scaling rugged ridges while hunted by the enemy. When he was finally able to activate his emergency transponder, his first message was simple and it was powerful. He sent a message, God is good. In that moment of isolation and danger, his faith and fighting spirit shone through. You see, shot down on a Friday, Good Friday, hidden in a cave, a crevice, all of Saturday, and rescued on Sunday. Flown out of Iran as the sun was rising on Easter Sunday. A pilot reborn, all home and accounted for, a nation rejoicing. God is good.
Yeah, I'm calling bullshit. It's just all too scripted and too nice. Trump gives a rundown, a search and rescue mission. That's like 6 minutes. We're going to play that whole clip. Trump gives a rundown of the search and rescue mission, which involved 155 aircraft, including 4 bombers, 64 fighters, 48 refueling tankers, 13 rescue aircraft, and more to save the second crew member. Really? Was this a botched mission? I've seen reports out there. Was this a botched mission to go after the Iranian enriched uranium? Was this some other type of botched mission? Who knows? I don't believe their official story, though, for 1 second. And Iran, there was a bunch of Iranian news coming out over the weekend saying they captured the U.S. pilot. Looks like maybe that was fake news. The whole thing is fake. But here's your New York Calm Post. They say, we got them inside daring raid to save U.S. airmen. And you look at the story and it's like, yeah, Black Hawk Down, all the fake story that the Navy SEALs killed Osama bin Laden under the Obama administration. And more of this Hollywood scripted bullshit, acting like the American military are superhuman or something. We will never leave an American warfighter behind. And I see this propaganda and it reminds me of Pat Tillman, NFL player who quit professional football to go serve in the U.S. military, thinking he's fighting terrorism after 9/11. He's killed by friendly fire. The government killed him when he started writing letters back home saying something ain't right about this war. You see? But tell us more, Pentagon, how you don't leave war fighters behind. When celebrity war fighters go against the narrative, you whack them in the field. More of this propaganda, no man left behind. Mm-hmm. And it all sounds well and good, but it's just simply not true what they're saying here now. They even got the CIA involved. CIA Director John Ratcliffe. The Iranians were embarrassed and ultimately humiliated by the success of this mission. So if you can't trust CIA at the press conference, I don't know what we can trust.
Infiltration on Saturday night, our intelligence reflects that the Iranians were embarrassed and ultimately humiliated by the success of this audacious rescue mission.
Come on, man. Really? We're grown ass adults here, and we're supposed to believe this shit? Don Jr., him and his brother and their daddy are profiteering handsomely off this war, off their investment in a drone company. So they're literal war profiteers. Don Jr. said, "Can you imagine a more perfect story on Easter? Shot down on a Good Friday, rescued on Easter morning, no American lives lost. A story for the ages, incredible." Yeah, because it's fake. Stop being gullible children. Here's some of the aftermath of the rescue mission, a graveyard of U.S. military assets. No audio on this, but yeah, there's a bunch of wrecked U.S. planes, helicopters, the remains of the rescue mission there. So I guess that's what the CIA means by embarrassing Iran. This was first time we had boots on the ground fighting Iran in Iran. Roughly half of Iran's missile launchers are still intact, and thousands of one-way attack drones remain in Iran's arsenal despite U.S. and aardvark land strikes against military targets, according to a report out of CNN. The real truth is we have no idea. We have no idea what their capabilities are because they have giant underground complexes of missile manufacturers, drone manufacturers, and who knows actually what they have. We really don't know, as we've won the war now since it began, and we've blown up their military for the last 2 weeks, but the missiles and drones continue to fly out of Iran. Nancy Mace, this will be a movie one day because it's a Hollywood script, because it's fake bullshit. That was a comment on this big old post. You believe Trump? I don't believe Trump even wrote this. Give me a freaking break. He's not writing that much. Don't get me wrong. I'm happy that the story says that we rescued the downed U.S. pilot, but the story they tell, the way they're spinning it, come on, man. Are we little children here? They act like it. I guess MAGA does have the mind of a child. Your boosters are still on the market too, by the way, so you might want to go get up to date on those, MAGA. So the red coat, Steve Hilton, running for California state governor, just got Trump's endorsement, so that's good. We have a UK agent over here running for California state governor as a Republican. So that's real good of Trump endorsing the red coat. Here's his endorsement. A former Fox News host, dude. And so we just need all actors up there. They all are actors anyway. And so it's just all fake, in your face. Trump, MAGA, America first. That's why he's endorsing a UK agent for California governor. MAGA amnesty incoming. Could it be? Well, we're not getting mass deportations as we continue to report. Republicans running for the midterm elections have been told by the White House to no longer talk about mass deportations. Let's watch this report out of Fox News via Information Liberation. Yeah, they're going to do a mass amnesty too, and then tell you we've always been for mass amnesty, and then MAGA will believe it.
For decades, the presidents have agreed the U.S. must crack down on illegal immigration. You saw Democrat and Republican, right? Now lawmakers are trying to turn that shared goal into policy. At least one is. And hopefully Democrats will flash back and understand they used to agree with this. It's a bipartisan bill known as the Dignity Act. It promises tougher enforcement and worker protections while offering certain undocumented immigrants legal status without citizens if they pass background checks, pay taxes, and stay employed. Supporters are calling it reform, while critics are calling it amnesty. Let's ask the Republican New York Congressman Michael Lower, who co-sponsored the bill, and Democratic immigration attorney Michael Wilds, who is the immigration attorney of Melania Trump. Welcome to both of you guys. Great to see you. Tell me about the Dignity Act. Expand on it, Congressman Lower. And is there other Democratic support for this?
Yeah, Brian, this has broad bipartisan support. In fact, this Congress, we have added significantly more co-sponsors than last, because I think folks do recognize that we have a problem. Immigration has not been reformed since 1986, the year I was born. And the fact is, our immigration system is fundamentally broken. President Trump was right to focus on securing the border, and he has effectively done that. We've had 9 straight months of net zero illegal border crossings. He was right to focus on the deportation of criminal aliens. The next step is to actually fix the broken system. This bill is common sense. It says if you've been here more than 5 years, so not the people that came under Joe Biden's disastrous administration, but the people who have been in this country more than 5 years, 10, 15, 20 years, whose children and grandchildren may in fact be American citizens, they would qualify if they have not committed a crime. They pay.
There you go, mass amnesty. Oh, same thing they did in 86. There you go. Big giant con job again on MAGA. We're going headlong into dystopia here now. iTunes takeover by fake AI singer Eddie Dalton now occupies 11 spots on singles charts, number 3 on album charts. So Eddie Dalton, as we continue to report, literal AI made up, is apparently running the country's music charts now. There you go. 11 spots on iTunes top 100 are Eddie Dalton AI. I thought this was a funny one. Remember last week, Ice Barbie's weird husband and their weird fake relationship where he's had these fake boobs. DC bar host Kink Night after Byron Noem's story. Oh man, let me play you this short clip from USA Today.
Brian Noem, husband of former Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem, is trending online after a tabloid report. The Daily Mail said he lives a secret double life, including cross-dressing and paying adult entertainers. The outlet's report included messages, audio, and photos that allegedly show Brian Noem wearing women's clothing and using props. Brian Noem reportedly responded to the allegations and denied to have jeopardizing national security or exposing his wife to blackmail. Brian Noem and Kristi Noem married in 1992 in Watertown, South Dakota, and have 3 children. USA Today reached out to Kristi Noem for comment, but did not immediately receive a response.
So Washington, D.C. gay bar is now capitalizing on this scandal, the bimbofication scandal, it's being called now. Here you go. Here's their, here's this DC bar promotion flyer for their event. There you go. Wow. Bimbofication kink night. Scientists gene hacked a plant so it grows 5 types of psychoactive drugs at once. Allegedly, they say from psilocybin in magic mushrooms to DMT in toads to THC in marijuana. A wide variety of organisms can produce psychoactive substances despite belonging to entirely different kingdoms. I don't even know if I believe this, but they're saying they genetically engineered this plant. Scientists, and where are they out of? Aardvark land, of course, because that's where the maniacs reside. And you got to be high out of your mind to believe this shit. But Aardvark land, scientists in Aardvark land have genetically engineered super tobacco plants that can produce 5 natural psychedelics: psilocybin, found in magic mushrooms, DMT from the ayahuasca plant, buffetine, and 5-moxy-DMT, which is secreted from the Sonoran desert toad at once. And so you gotta be loaded out of your mind to believe this stuff. The NASA mission, here they are saying as much. Adam NASA, you had us at cosmic brownie. And so are these cosmic brownies made out of this concoction from this GMO 5 types of psychoactive drugs at once? Here's the cosmic brownie video from NASA. And again, you have to be loaded out of your mind on all these drugs to believe any of this.
While we were in that LOS with the crew, they were in their midday meal, and some of the options they had today include chicken noodle soup, chicken with peanut sauce, spicy green beans, mashed potatoes, roasted turkey, rice, tomatoes and artichokes, spaghetti with meat sauce, vegetable casserole, sweet and savory kale, shrimp curry with rice, and a personal favorite, macaroni and cheese. I cannot omit that there was also a cosmic brownie as a dessert option.
Again, you have to be loaded out of your mind. This is the alleged course we showed you to believe any of this. NASA's Artemis II crew broke the Apollo 13 record for the furthest human space flight, which was set over 50 years ago. Apollo 13's record was 655,000 miles away from Earth. Artemis 2 hit the 248,656 mile mark as it flew past the moon at nearly 2,000 miles per hour. Yeah, call me skeptical. I'm calling bullshit on all of this. Here's the schedule. And so it's filling up the media. It is filling up the media there. You can see it's even on HBO Max, Netflix, YouTube, Peacock, Amazon Prime. Oh, man. Sphere Vegas, they put this out. NASA reposted it, so that's why it's right from the official source. We give you a brief explanation. It's a lunar flyby day on NASA's Artemis II mission around the moon. History is happening above us today as the astronauts on Orion reach their closest approach to the moon. We're celebrating this milestone here on Earth. What you see on the exosphere was created in collaboration with NASA, who provided us with a 3D model of the spacecraft and unique sound bites from the April 1st launch, April Fool's Day, again, to help us design the moon spacecraft and flight path to match the real life version. I think this is the actual version. Let's watch this propaganda out of Vegas Sphere.
Reed, Victor, Christina, and Jeremy, on this historic mission, you take with you the heart of this Artemis team, the daring spirit of the American people and our partners across the globe, and the hopes and dreams of a new generation. Good luck. Godspeed, Artemis 2. Let's go.
There's more. Oh, but there's more. There's always more, right? As the Artemis 2 astronauts prepare for today's lunar flyby, I just wanted to show you the beginning of this clip. This is allegedly aboard the spacecraft.
We're looking forward to working with and for the science team, and we're just excited to be so close to finally accomplishing what we've been training for so many years. And also, we want to say thank you for that really special message from Jim Lovell. We have a pretty neat emblem up here. We have a patch that was flown on the Apollo 8 mission, and that patch is here on the Artemis 2 mission as well, and that was sent to us by the Lovell family, by Jim Lovell's son. And so that was a really special way to start the day. And he said to welcome us to the neighborhood, and it's great to be in this neighborhood, and we look forward to sharing this neighborhood with you all.
The Apollo 8 patch is what they were showing right there. One last look at Earth before we reach the moon, they say. And this is what we get for $1 billion, is this. Well worth it. Well worth it. How many billion dollars they pump into this? And that's what we get out of NASA. There's more out of NASA. Going to the far side of the moon. I still want to see the obelisk there.
We recently received confirmation that the Orion spacecraft and its crew have officially entered the lunar sphere of influence. That milestone taking place at a mission elapsed time of 4 days, 6 hours, 2 minutes, and 54 seconds into the Artemis 2 mission. By reaching this milestone, it means that the gravitational forces of the moon are now greater on the Orion spacecraft than that of Earth.
I'd also like to share that we noticed we entered the lunar sphere of influence about an hour ago, and sure enough, we are now falling to the moon rather than rising away from Earth. It is an amazing milestone. Also, earlier we had the Earth out as a crescent out the side hatch, and the moon out window 3, and definitely by far the moon is bigger than the Earth.
A new photo from NASA captures the moon's near side on the right, the side we see from Earth. So we paid a lot of money. That is, U.S. taxpayers paid a lot of money for this, for this image. Allegedly, that's the moon image from NASA. And they're going live right now. Here's their, not much going on, but
So
Here they are, Mission Control.
Means that people saw them too.
Mission Control, they're live there right now. Not much. A bunch of nerdy looking people standing around computer monitors acting like there's a space mission going on. So that is out of NASA. I'm glad. Hey, isn't this image worth $1 billion? Where's the dark side of the moon, NASA? We still haven't seen any images of the dark side of the moon. All right, friends, thank you for tuning in with us on this Monday edition of Weaponized News. Let me give you my live commercial break and we'll get back to the news for you here now. We've gone an hour, went over a lot of news, exposed a lot of propaganda. And so give me that like, share, subscribe, push that notification button. We appreciate the new viewers on all the platforms, especially YouTube. We hate Trump YouTube, so thank you very much for taking off some of those censorship clamps. We do appreciate that. Everybody go to weaponizednews.com. We have the holograph sticker there. We have the white background sticker and the clear background sticker. You can see right there. 3 different stickers. We have coffee mugs, baseball caps, t-shirts. Go take a look at the store, weaponizednews.com/shop. Become a patron. You can also support this independent broadcast by giving us a donation. We take buy me a coffee, Bitcoin, wallet address in the description below this video. There's a listener out there. I got to email you back. Wanted to give a donation. I will email you and give you the details there. Thank you to all the paid subscribers to Weaponized News Substack and other subscription services. I believe some people are still on the locals linked up with the Rumble. That's fine too, even though we don't post any content to the locals. Every show is on Rumble. I don't know if I honestly haven't went back and looked at it, but it was disconjointed for a while. Maybe it's all linked up and synchronized now, locals and Rumble. Anyhow, however you're supporting this broadcast, it is truly much appreciated. If you want to become a paid subscriber, go to Weaponized News Substack channel. The value we're offering there is the links to almost everything we talk about are in the sources show notes section on our Weaponized News Substack channel. And that's for documentation purposes and for further research. So you could find a link of something interesting we talk about on Weaponized News and use that to start your research and do your own reports about it, or however you may see fit to use that research. Do a bunch of propaganda saying how great we love being bombed. You know what I mean? I don't know. But it's all there for your usage. It's all free. It's all free. We got kicked off of Rockfin for not charging. Okay, so it's all free. Mountains of information there for your educational purposes. So any which way you choose to support this broadcast is truly much appreciated. Go to weaponizednews.com/shop to become a patron to the store. And the links are in the description below this video. All the other ways to support us, weaponizednews.com. All right. Thank you for bearing with me for that live commercial message. Give me that like, share, subscribe, push that notification button. Welcome back to the second half of Weaponized News on this Monday, April 6, 2026 edition, as we're diving headlong into dystopia with Donald Trump earlier today running around acting like a complete lunatic, threatening war crimes out of his mouth every other sentence he says. Not a good look. Not a good look. 85 to 90% of the rest of the world hates America. Thank you very much, neocon war criminals. It's quite horrific. On to the economic section of the show. Here's some economic reporting for you. The White House is seeking $152 million to reopen Alcatraz prison there in the San Francisco Bay. That's a report out of the Huffington Post. Yeah, they should reopen it and turn themselves in, and all the rest of their Epstein crew. And they should all be imprisoned at Alcatraz Island. Of course, that's not what they're going to use this for. They're going to use it to imprison political dissidents in this country as they continually weaponize and build out the technocracy surveillance state on us. And we're not getting mass deportations as well. So I'm getting top bunk at Alcatraz. I'm calling it now. The 3 senators, including Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, have called for a ban on Chinese vehicles manufactured or titled in Canada and Mexico. That's reported out of the Wall Street Journal. San Francisco's median house price jumped to a record $2.15 million in March, up 18% from a year earlier, as wealth generated by AI startups flooded the city, according to Brokerage Compass. So imagine that. In San Francisco, the median house price is $2.15 million. That's clearly unsustainable for this AI bubble of nerd financial circle jerk going on. Thank you very much. I'm sure the people of San Francisco appreciate your rigged up fake BS AI startup companies. While about 2/3 of executives reported using AI, the usage amounted to only 1.5 hours per week, and 25% of respondents reported not using AI in the workplace at all. Nearly 90% of firms said AI has had no impact on employment or productivity over the last 3 years. And that's a report out of the National Bureau of Economic Research. Iran war is effectively a tax on U.S. households that could accelerate the economy's widening K-shape. That's right, Moody said today. And so they want the very rich, the Epsteiners, and the rest of us. So it's the 99.999999999 versus the Epsteiners, the 0.000000001%, and that's your K. Is they are up and we are down. Microsoft says Copilot, that's its AI, is for entertainment purposes only, not serious use. Firm pushing AI hard to consumers tells users not to rely on it for important advice. Report out of Tom's Hardware. China's rapid electrical vehicle adoption helped cushion the country from oil price shocks after Iran closed the Strait of Hormuz, with the nation's EV fleet now roughly equal in size to the rest of the world's combined. According to France's central bank sold 129 tons of French gold stored in New York, bought equivalent gold in Europe that meets current standards, and recorded a 12.8 billion euro gain due to higher gold prices. All French gold reserves are now held in Paris. I don't know why they don't trust holding their reserves in New York. Oh, we just stole Venezuela's gold? Oh, okay. I see. Damn you, France. Damn you. 10 years ago, Trump promised to eliminate the national debt. Instead, it has doubled. And apparently, MAGA loves it. There you go. Report out of Reason Magazine. Trump's ridiculous, grandiose promise tells us something about the federal government's fiscal affairs. and the president's approach to policy. Yeah, they're lying crooks. They are lying crooks. Trump wants to add nearly $7 trillion to the $39 trillion national debt with his new military budget, according to a report out of Fortune magazine. And here is that U.S. debt clock ticking away there. 39 trillion, soon we'll be at 40 trillion. And I'll say it's wonderful to be in debt. It's the greatest debt the world's ever known. And again, as we continue to report, at some point in time, of the bankers' choosing, of course, this will become unsustainable, and institutions and countries around the world will stop buying U.S. Treasury, and the system will collapse underneath the weight of its own debt, as per design. On to the price of a gallon of gasoline here in America. MAGA loves it, according to Trump. Now, according to AAA, the national average for a price of gasoline in America is $4.11. Where I'm at in California, they're beating us up real bad, again, in large part due to state taxes and environmental regulations. The price of a gallon of gasoline here in California is $5.92. I don't know how people are even doing it. I don't even drive. I'm walking, man. I'm walking and driving very sparingly over here, doing my own gas rationing program because I'm poor. So there you go. Always thinking about the environment at Weaponized News. Aardvark land accumulates massive $15 billion bill after 5 weeks of war. Well, what do they care? U.S. taxpayers love paying for aardvark land genocide, you see. And so 5 weeks into the war here now, aardvark land's war costs nearly $15 billion. Yeah, who cares? You know what I mean? Don't be antiseptic. Just direct deposit your withholdings to aardvark land, or you're antiseptic. And there you go. Boycott wonderful company brands owned by the Resnick family. I know it's antiseptic, but hey, I'm in California. They monopolized all these industries, monopolized the water, actually, and we've played reports about it here now. They spent years lobbying DC for war to decrease Iran's global market share of pistachios. And so you see, they're giant Zionist war criminals trying to economically profiteer off of destroying Iran's agricultural industry. And so you should, and besides all of that, you should boycott them for their abuse of California's water supply here now. Californians, there you go. So these are the products that you could not buy, and it would help out California, honestly. Or you could do the whole I'm boycotting the IDF thing as well. So many ways boycotting this company can help those on the downside of the K economic curve. Continuing here, U.S. aardvark land war on Iran chokes global aid lifelines as food and medicine shipments stall worldwide. Again, we keep reporting on this. The third, fourth world, millions of people are going to starve to death because of this. And Trump laughs and calls them animals. The ongoing Iran war is disrupting global humanitarian supply chains, leaving aid groups struggling to deliver food and medicine to millions in need. Key shipping routes, including the Strait of Hormuz, have been severely impacted, forcing organizations to reroute deliveries through lower and more expensive corridors as fuel and insurance costs surge. Major agencies report significant delays with large quantities of food and medical supplies stranded across transit hubs from the Gulf to South Asia. The United Nations has described the situation as the most severe supply chain disruption since the bat times, warning that rising costs mean fewer supplies can reach vulnerable populations already facing hunger and disease. As per design. As per design. Here's Trump earlier today on charging tolls there to pass through the Strait of Hormuz.
Mr. President, are you allowed to, or are you willing to end this conflict with Iran charging tolls for passage through the strait?
Us charging tolls?
Iran.
What about us charging tolls?
Is that something you're considering?
I'd rather do that than let them have them, right? Why shouldn't we? We're the winner. We won, okay? They are militarily defeated.
We won. They're bombing our bases right now. How did we win, Trump? Seriously, how did we win? Our military bases are being attacked right now. Russia lost about $1 billion in 1 week after Ukraine drone strikes hit key Baltic ports. Yeah. Meanwhile, Ukraine-Russia war is going on, and they're blowing the hell out of each other's energy infrastructure there as well. Aardvark land braces for failed U.S.-Iran talks, expands target list across energy and infrastructure. Here's the target list from war criminal aardvarks. They're beyond the pale, carrying the genocide in Gaza continues. And now they're openly bragging about committing war crimes, attacking civilian infrastructure. Again, targeting water supplies, electrical infrastructure, bridges, universities, children's schools, medical facilities, hospitals, university research facilities, and so on, hitting oil gas pipelines, gas processing plants, tanker terminals, the whole supply chain to get your Rockefeller oil out to you here now. It's going to be blowing up, allegedly. Well, they're saying, Aardvark land saying that's the plan. Here's the plan. Here's their public plan. They're going to blow all this stuff up. That's what they say. Key petroleum sector facilities. That's an old map, but something like this, right? Something like this. Continuing here. And then tit for tat, eye for eye. We're back in the Old Testament again here now. Iran threatens strikes on technocracy, essentially, potentially targeting again. They've been making these threats since last week. They allegedly hit an Amazon data center and Oracle data centers. Here's Iran's map of targeting technocracy assets in the Middle East. Drone strikes damaged 3 Amazon-operated data centers in Bahrain and UAE, and there are hundreds in the region. So, yeah, they're going to target all of these data centers. On to the mind control. We are all victims, myself included, of this mind control system. Goes way back. Here's another piece the Rockefellers used as part of their mind control program on the world. Rockefellers changed frequency of music. Let's take a listen to this clip. It's deep, the level of mind control they have over us.
1930s, the Rothschild-Rockefeller alliance, they began funding scientific studies to look at how musical frequencies can prepare the masses for war. And that's because they wanted to control people. They want that mind control programming. And so in 1938, there was a gentleman named Harold Burris Meyer, and he was a theatrical designer and a sound engineer. And he began developing techniques that would control the emotional response of audiences and to create mass hysteria. And so from there, you have this, this Rockefeller-Rothschild alliance. What they were doing is not only were they looking at ways to steer the masses, but they wanted to change the standard tuning of A to 440 hertz. So in 1939, they began funding Joseph Goebbels, who was the Nazi propagandist. And at that time, Joseph Goebbels, he wanted to change the standard tuning of A. And so he organized a meeting in London to do that. Now, up until that time, the standard tuning of A was set at 435 hertz, and that was from a conference in Vienna in 1889. But they wanted to shift it to 440 hertz. And so Radio Berlin approached the British Standard Association and asked if they would organize this conference in London, which was a total setup in which, the powers that be had control of what the outcome was going to be. And they didn't invite any of the French musicians because they were opposed to 440 hertz. And then the organizers of the conference, they interviewed the musicians, the instrument makers, the physicists, and then also the sound engineers. And if any of those people were against 440 hertz, then they weren't invited to the conference. So it was all controlled. And, as a result, it's not surprising that the standard tuning of A was changed to 440 hertz. And that happened June 1939, just months before World War II broke out. And the timing of that is no coincidence because 440 hertz is a destructive frequency. And that, it can retrain our thoughts towards disharmony, disruption, and disunity.
Scientific dictatorship has been at work for a long time. Will we ever get to the bottom of the Epstein files? NPR asked that question. I think we've already taken you to the bottom of the Epstein files here at Weaponized News. They're baby eating, blood drinking, Satan worshiping psychopaths. That's the bottom of the Epstein files. Melania Trump's public appearances controlled by Epstein scandal. This is a report out of the Daily Express. I don't know. Maybe. I think she's still part of child trafficking networks posing as helping them. Let's watch clinical psychologist on Melania Trump's rare appearances.
For me, it's all about perspective. Melania Trump's absence may not actually be passive. It could be strategically selective. And by that I mean it reminds me of stage hypnosis. So a stage hypnotist will spin people round and round and round in order to create confusion first. And with that confusion, psychologically, people become more suggestible. So if we think of President Trump, he brings the noise, the controversy, and the overload. And then she comes in and enters with a more moral narrative around child safeguarding, care, and dignity. And after confusion, that message can feel so much more acceptable and it can carry so much more weight. So therefore, what I'm thinking is that her absence could actually be a move of political persuasion if we're considering that absence within the whole system.
There you go. They're running MK Ultra PSYOP mind control program on the population at large. New details about Epstein's latent plea deal and jail term emerged from DOJ files. That's a report out of ZBS News. And I don't know anything significant. It was in the news today. I'm not giving up reporting on Epstein. I don't know. Is there anything really new here? Let's check this ZBS News report. See if we can get the video to play. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe not. We'll have to take another look at that. In the interest of time, Jeffrey Epstein's spawn how Nazi-loving pedophile fathered a string of children in superior gene pool experiments. We covered this eugenics transhumanism with William Ramsey at the time when it broke. Now Radar is bringing this up. We told you what they're into, what they're doing. Running eugenics transhumanist experiments. So now they're claiming there's a bunch of Epstein kids running around out there that he fathered some kind of way at his baby factory, maybe. I don't know. I don't think any of this has been confirmed. That's reports out of Radar Online. Supreme Court approved a Trump administration request to clear the way for dismissing Steve Bannon's criminal conviction. So, of course, Bannon, the great right-wing populist leader of MAGA, good friends with Epstein, hired to remake his image after being a convicted sex offender. They're out of Florida. Steve Bannon to have his criminal conviction cleared by the Supreme Court. According to a report out of the New York Times, failing New York Times. They've been at this a while, the Illuminati death cult. Here's another example, Beatles album cover. The Beatles yesterday and today with a dismembered baby, a couple baby dolls, meat. They're in the white lab coats there. You see, it's pretty dark, isn't it? When we look through the Epstein lens, it's pretty dark, and they've been mocking us this entire time. They've been mocking us this entire time. Old Nancy Mace, again, running for South Carolina governor, she says, we were one of the original 4 Republicans to vote for the Epstein Files Transparency Act. We sent letters to the DOJ and Southern District of New York demanding answers and unredacted documents. We moved to subpoena Pam Bondi to appear before the Oversight Committee. We questioned the Clintons for hours about their ties to Epstein. No one works harder to deliver justice for victims, provide transparency to the American people, and hold predators accountable. Stand for victims always, Nancy Mace. There you go. Again, maybe she is genuine in her concern about all of this, but I do believe she's capitalizing on it for her political career and run for governor there in South Carolina. She also went on to say, I want an attorney general who will make arrests, who will prosecute, and who will put criminals in jail. I want all the Epstein files released. Well, that's a bit too much, isn't it, Nancy Mace? No more two-tier justice system. And then I found this pretty funny, actually. The DOJ is breaking the law right now, violating the Epstein Transparency Act. They should all be perp walked into Alcatraz prison because that's where these criminals belong. Of course, that will never happen because they're the Justice Department. Trump administration, Department of Justice is delivering results. Here's a post by the White House earlier today, but still continuing the biggest cover-up in history, the Epstein files. Safeguarding national security by threatening the American free press with prosecution when it's actually an aardvark who's the leaker. So there you go. Protecting Americans against terrorists by crushing Iranian and ISIS attacks. It's laughable at this point. But people are dying, so it's extremely serious. Detecting and prosecuting espionage threats against Americans by foreign governments. Earned court win to protect key American critical minerals in copper. It goes on and on and on. But you know what's not mentioned in any of these accomplishments, allegedly under the Trump DOJ, is the prosecution of Epstein co-conspirators. They conveniently left that part out of the praise of the fake Justice Department there. Yes, indeed, they did. I'm going to keep reporting on Epstein. That's about all we had for today. I see a lot of mainstream reports recycling what we reported, 3 weeks, a month ago here now with William Ramsey at the time when it broke. And so they're recycling a bunch of these stories. I refer everybody back to the William Ramsey shows. We did 2 in a week, I believe, about a month ago. And it's all there. It's all there, exposing the baby eaters, the Illuminati death cult. Continuing onto geopolitical news. Are we on geopolitical news? Where are we at here? We are on geopolitical news here. Spaniards, that damn Spanish, I tell you, they don't get enough heat for the Spanish Empire and their imperial actions of colonialism against brown people in the third world. Spaniards view Trump as more dangerous than Putin. Donald Trump is seen as the biggest threat in the world to Spaniards, according to this El País report here. There you go. They see Trump as a bigger threat than Putin, who's actually on the same continent, almost same land mass, I guess we could say, as Europe. And they still see, here's a funny one. They see the new Khomeini as a 33% threat level there. Oh, man. You damn Spanish and your colonialism. Deliberate attacks on civilian infrastructure are against the Geneva Conventions. A failing New York Times reporter told Trump today. So people are telling him he can't deny he doesn't know these are war crimes.
Thank you, Mr. President, for the question. Deliberate attacks on civilian infrastructure violate the Geneva Conventions and international law.
Who are you with?
I'm with the New York Times. Zolan from the New York Times. Are you
The failing.
Are you concerned?
Circulation way down at the New York Times.
Are
What's
you
going
concerned
on?
that your threat to bomb power plants and bridges amount to
No,
war
not at
crimes?
all. No. I hope I don't have to do it. But again, I just said 47 years they've been negotiating with these people. They're great negotiators. And because they're not going to have a nuclear weapon. And if somebody that takes my place someday is weak and ineffective, which possibly that will happen because we had numerous presidents that were weak, ineffective, and afraid.
Yeah, thanks, Trump. We're going to get a Democrat, probably Newsom, because of your buffoonery. Thanks a lot. Trump on NATO. It all began with Greenland. We want Greenland, and they don't want to give it to us. And I said, bye-bye. We're still building the Greater North America project. That's still a thing going on in the background here. Integral part is Greenland.
He's a great person, but he's got, and you know, it all began with, if you want to know the truth, Greenland. We want Greenland. They don't want to give it to us. And I said, bye-bye. Okay, thank you very much.
That's still in play. Greenland, Canada's still in play. What was Trump saying today? Oh, we don't want Canada to be the 51st state. Well, they want to make, the United States government, Department of War, is building the greater North America. As we continue to report here, our region of responsibility in this hemisphere as part of the one world government. Here's Trump says, today I'm polling higher than anybody has ever polled in Venezuela. And then jokes about running for Venezuela president. Or is he joking?
And for president of Venezuela, I'm polling higher than anybody has ever polled in Venezuela. So after I'm finished with this, I can go to Venezuela. I will quickly learn Spanish. It won't take too long. I'm good at language. And I will go to Venezuela. I'm going to run for president. But we're very happy with the president-elect that we have right now, the people that are running it. And for president.
Please go run now. Leave America alone. U.S. Justice Department named all these groups as designated foreign terrorist organizations. A bunch of these gangs, the Tren de Agua gang out of Venezuela, they're designated foreign terrorist organization. The Sureños, that's the Southern Mexicans here in California, out of Los Angeles. The Cartel de Sinaloa out of Mexico. The La Nueva Familia out of Mexico. The Los Concheros out of Ecuador. MS-13 out of Salvador, originating in Los Angeles. The Cartel de Jalisco and the Cartel del Norteste out of Mexico, formerly known as Los Zetas. And so thankfully they've all been designated foreign terrorist organizations. Maybe, I don't know, designate the CIA along with them? Just saying. Some war propaganda out of our shadow president Bibi here now. We will continue to fight with full strength, he tells us. And he's putting out full-on war propaganda videos on the back of the last couple of weeks, putting out fake AI videos where he has 6 fingers and his coffee doesn't spill. No, we're moved on to this.
התחלנו מתחילת מלחמת התקומה 10 מכות על ציר הרשע. מכת חמאס בעזה, מכת חיזבאללה בלבנון, explosives hidden inside cages, מכת אסד בסוריה.
כך נראית השמדת צבא סוריה. 80% מיכולותיו של הצבא הסורי נלקחו לחלוטין.
מכת ארגוני הטרור ביהודה ושומרון, מכת החות'ים בתימן.
זאת מטוסי קרב של חיל האוויר יהיו אמש נגד יעדים של משטר החות'ים.
מכת הגרעין.
היה הלילה שייכנס לספרי ההיסטוריה של ישראל, של ארצות הברית, של העולם כולו.
Massive precision strikes on the 3 key nuclear facilities.
מכת הטילים, מכת תשתיות המשטר, מכת כוחות הטילים, מכת בכירים, נסראללה, הנייה, דף, סינואר, הרודן חמינאי, ועוד ועוד.
They did all that, and Khomeini's still in charge of Iran. Go figure. That was war propaganda right from Bibi X account earlier today. Iranian Kurdish groups deny receiving U.S. arms after Trump's guns for protesters remark. Who got the guns? I don't know. It's some terrorist group we're going to have to go fight in another 5 years. That's for sure. We don't know who got the guns now. Apparently, the Iranian Kurds say they didn't get the guns. Who got them? I don't know. I don't know, and neither does Trump, apparently. But yeah, we're going to have to go fight the terrorists there in 5 years that are sporting U.S. guns. So look for that in the future. Here's Aardvark Land's war minister, Katz. He says the IDF forced, is this in English? Nah, it's in there. I got some stuck in my throat language, so I'll just read you the English transition. Katz. You remember this character, right? Katz, this guy. He said earlier today, said the IDF forcefully struck Iran's largest petrochemical plant. This key facility accounts for about 50% of Iran's petrochemical output. This follows an attack on Iran's second largest facility last week. As a result, both facilities, which together account for 85% of Iran's petrochemical production, are now out of operation. This represents a multi-billion-dollar economic blow to the Iranian regime. Netanyahu and I have instructed the IDF to continue high-intensity strikes on the Iranian regime's national infrastructure. So he's just, yeah, we're committing war crimes. What are you going to do about it? Apparently nothing. Apparently the world is going to do nothing about it. Here's some images from those attacks. Giant clouds of black smoke there over Iran. No audio on this video, but you could see, yeah, they're bombing the hell out of their petrochemical operations. Yeah, I believe they are doing that. U.S. aardvark land strikes hit largest petrochemical complex in Iran. Here's another video of it. Yeah, it's on fire. It is on fire there. A little bit blowing up the world's energy infrastructure. The IRGC media lists U.S.-linked universities in the region as potential targets. So here you go. Tit for tat, eye for eye, Old Testament. We really have not progressed anywhere, have we now? Here is, so we're all living like cavemen in the Stone Age here. Eye for an eye. So, hey, Iran may retaliate and hit these American universities there in West Asia region. You can see American University of Kuwait, the Weill Cornell and Georgetown in Qatar, American University in Bahrain, American University in Sahara, New York University in Abu Dhabi. So to help the education of the youth, they decided to destroy all of the universities there in Iran. And Iran is possibly going to return the favor. It's real bad. It's real bad. U.S. aardvark land strikes hit Iran's most prominent tech university, target AI infrastructure. Founded in 1966 and widely known as the MIT of Iran, the university sits at the center of the country's scientific and AI development, and now it's a pile of rubble. And here's an image of that attack. There you go. No more fancy learning for you, Iran. There's more images. Yeah, they leveled the place. They leveled the place. Oh yeah, they're bombing. They're also bombing mosques, churches, as well. Let's not forget about that. And so destroying their culture at every angle and targeting civilian infrastructure, which is on its face a war crime, and targeting civilians for that matter. The war crimes are ongoing. Aardvarks never saw a war crime they didn't love committing. And again, UK puppet masters sitting on top of all this, laughing their heads off. There's some more black smoke out of Iran. Not good. None of this is good. That's Tehran under heavy bombing, like right now as we speak. It's ongoing. More video of just another university. Oh, that's that same one, Sharif University, the Iranian MIT. There's a video of it leveled. They leveled the place. This is what they were talking about in that Iran Lego propaganda video about blocking consumer act, or I don't know what do you call it? Not military, but civilian, right? Civilian access to satellite imagery. Planet Labs enforces indefinite blackout on Iran war imagery at White House request. The move stifles independent verification of Iranian damage to U.S. assets framed by Washington as a measure to protect vulnerable military positions. So as a civilian, you could go to Planet Labs and get some satellite imagery from them. Not anymore. Satellite imagery from the company Planet Labs is now blocked by the per Trump administration request. So you can't get any more of these fancy images of U.S. planes blowing up, per Al Jazeera with this post. No more of these images. Because it's undermining Pentagon war propaganda and lies, you see. And no more of those images. And they've told all of these companies, actually here now, that civilians can access no MOS, no more, no more. So just trust what the government tells us when we're at beyond Orwellian levels of lying and propaganda. Another one, just giant, I don't know, should we even play it? It's quite a big explosion here. This is the Bashir province in Iran. And so they're bombing the hell out of Iran again. Yeah. And there's many, 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 many of these images. According to Aardvarkland Ministry of Health, 163 were injured in the last 24 hours. They're out of Aardvarkland. IDF kills senior IRGC Quads Force officials. And so they put up this in the Aardvark Post. Yeah, they're whacking a lot of them, no doubt. No doubt, to the point Trump is negotiating on a can phone with who knows who. So there's a bunch of them. They're whacking them. They continue the assassination campaign. We assassinated IRGC intelligence chief Kadmi. This guy. IDF says they whacked this guy. Iran intelligence chief. No longer with us. Deputy of Iran's Housing Federation reports that as of April 4th, so 2 days ago, assessments have been completed for damage to 91,253 urban and rural housing units. Those are civilians. he stated that 1,173 of these units were completely destroyed by U.S. aardvark land strikes and now require reconstruction. He added that 49,737 units were identified as needing repairs with damage evaluations completed. Repair work has been finished on more than 17,000 of these units, allegedly. Doctors warn aardvark land destroying Lebanon health system is Gaza tactic. You think? Doctors and rights groups warn aardvark land strikes in Lebanon killed 56 healthcare workers, hit 150 ambulances, and closed hospitals, raising fears of deliberate Gaza-style healthcare collapse tactic used by the IDF. Keep telling you, man, they're moving the genocide onto the Lebanese. Aardvark land continues to destroy southern Lebanon. There's a video published earlier today by the IDF getting those damn terrorists who are actually Lebanese civilians. No audio on this video, but you see they have to clear the path for the Greater Aardvark Land Project as we continue to report to you here now. Yeah, they're leveling southern Lebanon, a la Gaza, as we speak. They're turning it into apocalyptic hellscape, carrying out ethnic cleansing program against the Lebanese and bordering on genocide against the Lebanese. 7 children killed in U.S. aardvark land airstrikes on Tehran, Iran, at dawn today, according to Iranian Ministry of Health. According to authorities in Iran's Hormozgan province, 2 fishermen were killed by U.S. aardvark land strikes targeting local fishing ports. So they're also targeting, I would consider that part of agricultural infrastructure. Yeah. It's a war crime. Hamas, which we know Bibi funded and the West funded to destabilize Palestine so they could never have a functioning government to do anything but be called terrorists. Hamas military spokesman rejects disarmament. You really thought they were going to disarm? Condemns U.S. aardvark land strikes on Iran and Lebanon. In a speech yesterday, Hamas's armed wing spokesman said calls for the group's disarmament are nothing but an overt attempt to continue the genocide against our people, stressing that such demands will not be accepted under any circumstances. Yeah, you think? Another statement by Hamas on the Rafah crossing. Anything here? Nothing really. It's just, yeah, you're not just, whoever the Hamas guys are, a lot of them look like Western intelligence to me, but whoever they are, they're not disarming and not going along with the Gaza peace plan proposal. Several Palestinians have been killed and dozens injured in aardvark land attacks on the central Gaza Strip earlier today, according to local sources. Aardvark land-backed militias are attacking homes while aardvark land drones provide air cover, bombarding residential areas as residents confront the collaborator gangs and defend their homes. The genocide in Gaza continues. The military spokesperson for Ansarallah, the Houthis here now, out of Yemen announced that together with Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard and Hezbollah, they struck vital aardvark land positions in the Ilyat area, carrying out the operation with cruise missiles and drones and successfully achieving its objectives. The Houthis. Again, so Hezbollah attacking them from the north, Iran from this way, and the Houthis from the south. And they're all working in coordination now. Aardvark Land announces new forced displacement orders for residents of southern Lebanon, i.e. ethnic cleansing program. It's going on right now as we speak. Also, as we speak, this was earlier today, they may be on wave 99 now. IRGC announced waves 97 and 98, part of Operation True Promise 4. And so they're letting it fly there. Operation, or waves 97 and 98 here now. And it's ongoing. And then here are the missile warning siren map, not to be confused with the sex offender map in Aardvark Land, as they often overlap. But you can see it's ongoing. It's ongoing as the missile warning sirens blare there. And again, they overlap. That overlaps with the Aardvark Land sex offender map. Don't confuse the two. Here's some smoke coming out of Tel Aviv earlier today. There you go. So they're turning the whole West Asia region into a giant pile of rubble as fast as they possibly can on all sides. Let's see. Continuing here. Well, that's about all we got. We got a couple more reports. Old Kanye West, Ye, pressure mounts on Ye to be pulled from his headline role at a summer festival in London. And so all advertisers now are boycotting old Kanye West Ye. He's been able to hold on to one advertiser, or I guess two. Other sponsors of the event include Budweiser and PayPal are being urged to follow suit. Pepsi already has withdrawn its lead sponsorship of the Wireless Festival at Finsbury Park in North London, scheduled for this summer, July 10th through the 12th. And so they are boycotting. They are boycotting old Kanye West Ye. But if you boycott them, you're antiseptic. Kanye West freefall, Budweiser now the lone major sponsor that hasn't pulled out of the London Summer Music Festival. Showbiz 411 reports now. And then finally, Aardvark Land Security Minister Ben Gvir, consummate provocateur and psychopath, pushes forward with Nazi reminiscent law, i.e. the final solution, and orders red uniforms for Palestinians on death row. And they're all over Aardvark Land television laughing about it, cheering it. And so it is the final solution, i.e. Nazi Germany, World War II. I already had my first meeting with the prison service about kickstarting the law. There, the prison service opening a death row wing, setting up the facility. And here he is. We do have English translation for you on Aardvark Television, telling us how wonderful the final solution is going to be.
יכול לגלות לנו, לחשוף לנו משהו?
Sorry, let me cut the bottom feed so you can read the English translation there.
יכול לגלות לנו, לחשוף לנו משהו?
אתמול כבר עשיתי פגישה ראשונה עם השב"ס על התנעת החוק, ואני רוצה להגיד לך שהם כבר התחילו להזמין מדים אדומים, פותחים אגף שנידונים למוות, פותחים, מקימים מה שנקרא מתקן, כי זה צריך כאן מתקן, זה לא יהיה מחר בבוקר, זה לא יהיה תוך יומיים שלושה, זה לוקח כמה חודשים, אבל כן, התחלנו לעבוד, ומי שמכיר אותי יודע, שאני, אתה יודע, יש הרבה כאלה שדיברו, אני עושה ועושה ועושה ועושה, יש לנו נציב שב"ס, אחד לדור, אגב, צריך גם להגיד, יישר כוח לסגן שלו, חתם עזם, שהוא עובד על הדברים האלה, כל פרויקט, אגב, שנתתי לו, נתתי לו, תבנה לי אלפי אגפים למחבלים, בנה, עכשיו אמרתי לו, תקים את המתקן הזה, בונה את המתקן הזה, באמת, פרחים לאנשים האלה, הם מאמינים בזה. ואגב, אתה יודע מה אומרים לי בשב"ס? הם רואים מה קרה ביממה האחרונה, מאז שהחוק עבר. הם אומרים לי, המחבלים לא ישנים בלילה. הם דואגים, ויש להם ממה לדאוג. יש למחבלים ממה לדאוג.
There you go. They're working toward the final solution for Palestinian prisoners in Aardvark jails and prisons. All right, friends, that's all the reporting I got for today. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Let's go to the Odysee channel and see if we can find some comments over there. A few people on the comments. I see John Gurr Huffman. Oh, no, it's Calepsy. Thank you guys for tuning in there. Let's see here. Let's see. Pale Rider says European nations 1488. John said Trump is negotiating with a pretend friend. It sure seems like that. It sure seems like that. Trump was placed in office by globalist Zionists to destroy the United States, and he is doing a far better job at it than he did running casinos to launder money, John said. Indeed. Sounds about right to me, John. Americans are the persons embarrassed by Trump, not Iranians, ashamed of any loss. Yeah. Definitely made up for Easter. The propaganda is ham-handed and ridiculous. Trump and Hegseth speak to us like we are brain-damaged children. I agree. It's embarrassing. Trump can't even read two sentences, never mind type that much. Huffman said, right? Somebody else is running Trump's social media account. Trump's ignorance on so many topics is obvious. I wonder if he paid some aardvark to take his test in universities in Pennsylvania. He may very well have. He may very well have. A cosmic bull manure sandwich is what Artemis constitutes. More CGI with AI. They could do better. Yeah, they could do better. As I said, Trump is destroying the country. Indeed. Pop music is a major source of social engineering. Yeah. Yeah. The pop stars were the sons of military intelligence out of the 60s, in large part, a lot of them. Yeah, indeed. And then they engineered the 60s hippies, right? That is U.S. intelligence. Blanche said no more Epstein files will be released. Does that not violate the Transparency Act? It does. It does violate the Epstein Transparency Act, but he's only in a room right now, right? So I guess nothing will happen until the Senate confirms I don't even think Trump has Trump even nominated a new attorney general? I don't think so. We'll see how it plays out. But yeah, he should be held accountable. He's the acting interim attorney general for the United States of America, U.S. Department of Justice. He should be held accountable, same as all the rest of them, in violation of the Epstein Files Transparency Act. Thank you guys for tuning in on the Odysee, keeping that chat lively. Thank you for tuning in on X, Kick, Twitch, Facebook, Bitchute, YouTube, and Rumble. Let me go over to some of these Rumble YouTube chats. I'll just scroll back a little ways. Let's start here. Jan on the Rumble says Fox means 666. Indeed. Trump is selling the Zionists in Hollywood the rights to the new fake Black Hawk Down movie as we speak. Right? It's just so ridiculous at this point. That was Zio on the Rumble. Denver says gross. Highland said, I like a well-trimmed beard in musicals. Jan says, it was planned years before Biden got in by aardvarks. Yeah. The perfect DEI flat screen singer thing. Fat Bob says, can I get an autograph? I don't know, Bob. We should start selling Eddie Dalton autographs because everything else is fake. Just write Eddie Dalton. Here's your #1 iTunes singer. Pay me $100 for that autograph. It's all fake anyway. So what's the difference? No videos, just stills from Fat Bob. Indeed. Oh man. What did I say? I thought was gnome apology. What did I say? Tim Dillon wearing a set of fake stuff. It's hilarious. DC gay bars are literally doing theme nights around it. So, man, nobody can say they're not good capitalists, though, right? Carrie said, I can't keep up with this shit. I know. It's tiresome, I tell you. DMT is in everything, Denver said. Indeed. Laughing at fake boobs is antiseptic. Don't you know anything? Max said. Oh my gosh. Was Highlands? What I've always wanted, a 30-inch waist and 38-inch boobs. Christy Gnome's husband's living out all our fantasies now, isn't he? Like a national, we're literally living in what is it, Truman World, National Lampoon's episode, dystopia with friggin' the Easter Bunny staring over Trump's shoulder in the background. I don't know if you guys get a chance to see the thumbnail of the show, but here is the thumbnail for today's show, just in case you guys might have missed it. Here it is. Extremely dystopic there at the White House today, with Howard Lutnick staring over Trump's shoulder as per usual, this time dressed up in a Easter Bunny outfit. Man, oh man. Kevin Trudeau Jr. says Pakistan baby. Let's see. And you guys are funny today, I tell you. The visualizers are so dumb, it's offensive. Javier said, it's so dumb. Oh man. But seriously, all the taxes we pay, all the money these programs get, kabillions of dollars, can't they come out with better propaganda? Seriously. A-Dub says, I can take the same photo from my iPhone. I know, right? Oh man, it's a video game. Part of the video game, that's for sure. They say that clear background sticker looks older than me, Sam. It is pretty. It's not that old. It's just the here it is, and here's the, you know what I mean. It sticks on there, but it is an old demo model. But you'll get a brand new one, I promise. Here now, but that's just the old demo version. Max says the man in the moon still looks the same from that angle. It's not as serendipitous as the heart on Plato, Max says. Denver on the Rumble says China's Cherry unveils solid state drive, 8-minute charge, 500 kilometer range, double energy density, zero fire risk. Well, that's why they're lobbying to ban it here in America, right? Out of the Senate, thankfully. Javier says, if you buy gold, get the actual gold. Yeah, indeed. Indeed. Let's see, Snow. Shout out to Propelled Show. Says, all of this is pointing to Vance being sworn in, methinks. Then it's technocracy o'clock. May very well be, all according to plan. Lose the midterms, impeach Trump, install Mr. Technocracy Vice President J.D. Vance, as he acts like he's now somehow against this Iranian war. How could you be against the Iranian war, J.D. Vance? We've been at war with Iran for 47 years. Bardo says, Noam is an attractive woman, yet her husband needs to cross-dress and wear prosthetic boobs. What the hell is in the water these days? Maybe Alex Jones is right about the gay frogs. Oh, man. You guys had some good ones today. Aardvark land is the land of foul grins, Max said. Oh, man. Let's see. Aardvark's making baklava more expensive. Now I'm pissed, Bardo. Yeah. One of those mullahs looks like Jack Black. Maybe they're all freaking actors. You know what I mean? At this point, maybe this is all just some giant freaking production. Because it's getting more ridiculous by the second. Ye new album is peak, banned in UK and Australia. Oh man, banning Kanye, totally the most tragic news of the day. I'm so upset I can't even make a martini, Karen says. It is upsetting. I think this is all pushing us to full Palantir presidency. My aardvark senses are tingling, Snow said on the YouTube. Yeah, it's looking that way. It's looking that way for sure. Sodom and Gomorrah. Yeah. And a bunny behind Trump, like the bunny helping Biden. The only thing we can do is laugh at this point. Yeah. That's what Javier says on the Rumble. I agree. We should mock them. We should mock them and laugh at them at this ridiculousness of propaganda and lies. But real people are dying, I do believe. So let's pray for peace. Let's pray for peace and hope there's not some giant escalation, as there is intense bombing campaigns going on right now. Let's hope that whatever Trump's threatening doesn't come to fruition in the next 24 to 48 hours, whatever that may be. I don't know how you could, well, Department of War, Hegseth says the bombing campaign today is the largest of the war, and tomorrow will be even bigger. So, man, oh man. Not good. Let's pray for peace. And with that, as always, everybody do your own research, peace, love, and freedom. Speak out and take action. Have a great rest of your Monday evening. We'll be back here on Tuesday for more